So here we're going to look at some examples involving colons and different uses of the colon. But before we get into the actual examples, a little overview of some of the relevant punctuation rules. And so a colon, when you encounter it on the SAT or ACT, will need to be preceded by an independent clause. That means something that could have stood on its own as a complete sentence if there were just a period after it. But it doesn't have to be followed by one, although it can be. And this is something that the colon has in common with the single dash, meaning a dash that's not part of a pair. Now, it's not that common that you're going to see a dash followed by a second independent clause, but it's at least possible. And this is something that separates or distinguishes both of these punctuation marks from the semicolon and the period, because, as I've discussed in other videos, both of these, unless you're using the semicolon to punctuate a complex list, both of these will need to be preceded and followed by independent clauses. And so this relates to something I talked about in the brief overview of punctuation rules, the fact that these make up two different groupings, such that when you see, for example, the semicolon and the period together, and there's no other difference except for the capitalization, you can eliminate both of those. So those are some, I guess we could say, technical rules involving, sentence parts. But there's also a meaning aspect to these colon questions. And we'll just go ahead and use this one to illustrate what's going on, why we might want to use a colon. And so it says here, both of these doctors wanted to dedicate more time to research, but were reluctant to step away from their teaching responsibilities to support their dual goals. The university that employed them implemented an innovative plan, time sharing. So here, the portion beginning with the and extending up through plan, that's going to be what I'll call our setup. And then the part that comes after it, which in this case is not an independent clause, but again, it doesn't have to be, I'm just going to call that the payoff. Okay, so the setup, the portion before the colon, creates a sense of expectation, and then the portion that comes after the colon fulfills that expectation. And so it can do so in the form of just a couple of words here, time sharing. It could do that in the form of a list, but it could also do it in the form of an explanation that could again involve an independent clause, and you could even see a quotation after the colon. So getting into some more challenging examples. Here's one where we're getting some different words mixed in, but still, I'm going to emphasize this, we still have two of them that we can treat as equivalent. And so now we can see, okay, the distinction is colon versus comma. Okay, so let's read this and maybe simplify as we go. So in 2020, Copenhagen, Denmark, implemented a citywide program to promote cycling, and we're just going to ignore that. But car use in Copenhagen has only slightly decreased. A 2021 study by the University of Amsterdam found that car traffic in Copenhagen was down less than 5% since the program began. Okay, so here we actually have multiple independent clauses. One of them is going to be this portion. So that's an independent clause. But then we've got, that accounted for already in terms of how it's going to connect to this next part. So we've got our coordinating conjunction, our fanboys conjunction, but. And then we've got our next independent clause. Car use in Copenhagen has only slightly decreased. And this has messed up my color coding because now that setup is going to be in green. Okay, but still. Okay, that's an independent clause. And then we have a third independent clause. A 2021 study found that traffic was down less than 5%. Okay, so if we were to use the comma, we would have an issue. The issue is that you can't do that. You can't directly join two independent clauses with just a comma. That is known as a comma splice, and that will not be considered correct. So C is not going to work, and so sort of by default or by process of elimination, B is going to have to be correct. But still, we want to see that relationship. Car use in Copenhagen has only slightly decreased. That's our setup. This 2021 study shows that it was down less than 5%. So that's our payoff. And so in this case, our payoff is an independent clause. It's providing an explanation, or we could say it's expanding on the portion in green that precedes the colon. So that's going to be correct. Continuing. For centuries, honeybees have been relied upon to pollinate crops around the world. When it comes to their foraging habits, honeybees are remarkably adaptable. They will gather nectar and pollen from a wide variety of flowers, ensuring the pollination of numerous plant species. But now we look at our answer choices, and we don't have the semicolon period pair that we can use as a quick hint to get rid of two options. Instead, we have just and, we have just a comma, and then we have no punctuation. I'm going to say that all of these can be considered what I'll call soft punctuation. And I'll talk more about this in another video, but you can consider this kind of a preview. So soft, whereas this is the only one that contains what I would call hard punctuation. Now, I would also call the period and the semicolon and even the single dash hard punctuation. But what is the distinction? Well, hard punctuation is something that can be used to join two independent clauses. Going back to this, see that if you have an independent clause after the punctuation mark, you can use the semicolon, the period, the dash, or the colon. You can't use just a comma, or just and, or no punctuation at all. And so if it turns out that we do have a second independent clause after the blank, that's going to be a sign that we're going to have to go with D. So let's read it again. Honeybees are remarkably adaptable. That's certainly an independent clause. And notice we're just ignoring that. That would be a dependent clause. We're just ignoring that. Honeybees are remarkably adaptable. They will gather nectar and pollen from a wide variety of flowers. And then we can ignore that. That would be, I believe, a participle phrase. Okay, so given that we have an independent clause and then another independent clause, we can't use just and or just a comma. We have to use the one that would be considered, hard punctuation. But once again, we also have that same sort of relationship where we have our setup. It's telling us that they are remarkably adaptable, and then our payoff, expanding on that and explaining in which way they are remarkably adaptable.